peer through windows, watch life go by, dream of tomorrow and wonder why the past is holding me, keeping life at bay. I wander lost in yesterday, wanting to fly, but scared to try. But if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing and I'd feel so alive if someone like you found me. So many secrets I long to share. All I have needed is someone there to help me see a world I've never seen before. I love to open every door to set me free, so I can soar. If someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. I'd have a new way to live and a new life to love if someone like you found me. Oh, if someone like you found someone like me, then suddenly nothing would ever be the same. My heart would take wing and I'd feel so alive. If someone like you love me, love me, loved me.
Theatre, an entire industry shut down by a global pandemic. In the Wings is a collection of interviews with writers, composers and creatives whose work was cancelled by COVID-19. In this series, we will shine a spotlight on 4 such productions, featuring performances by West End stars and a live band, the first since our theatres went dark. These are the stories of those shows waiting in the wings. Episode 4, Dorian.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about Dorian?
It's a rock musical. It's written by Joe Evans and Linny Reedman. It's got an interesting mix of styles throughout.
Yeah.
There's lots of rock numbers. There's a couple of vaudeville numbers. There's some really great ballads in there. It's just a really fun journey throughout the show.
So I guess for the purpose of this program, is what happened to the show? Was it going to happen? What was
So
tell us
we
the
were
story.
workshopping the production. We'd
Right.
been in rehearsals for about 2.5 weeks, coming to the end of our 3rd week of rehearsals,
Yeah.
ready to open that weekend, sort of thing.
Oh, but a full production.
Yeah, we would. It was a staged performance of it in the Other Palace studio space.
Right, yeah.
Still with set and band and everything that
Yeah.
a production has. And then slowly throughout rehearsals, coronavirus had been trickling into the news stories more and more,
Yeah.
and we were sort of getting to a point where we were all aware that something was going to happen in the future. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were sort of like, as a cast and company, we were talking about what do we do? Like, do we continue? And there was, on the last day of rehearsals, we all came in and we had a meeting. We all sat down and sort of said, here are our options. We can either push on with no audience because no one's going to come,
Yeah.
or we stop the show now, we do a filmed version of it, and we decided that it was going to be best to hold off until we could do it properly with an audience.
Dorian, obviously, right, is what we'd call, is a narcissist, right?
Yeah.
So my immediate question as a writer would be, well, how do you get it? How do we feel any kind of empathy towards the non-empathy exuding Dorian? Since he's the star, how do we, hook into him? How do you root for Dorian?
Yeah, absolutely. It is difficult to root for a bad guy. I mean, one of my favorite tropes in film and theater is that watching a bad guy and still feeling something for them. Like, yeah, I mean, throughout the musical, you see Dorian as sort of this lost figure, and he's trying to find what he's missing in life, and he thinks
Right.
that that's youth and love and all of the stuff that he gets from Lord Henry, who is so hedonistic. But a lot of it comes back to his mother, who died when he was very young, and there's a couple of songs where he reflects on that and looks back, and you see how it changes throughout the show. The first song in the show is "Can You Hear Me," which is him singing about his dead mother and wondering whether
Wow.
what he's doing is right in life.
Yeah. A dead mother opening number. Does she appear?
She does not appear. Well, she appears in a portrait. So part of the set is this gigantic portrait that dominates the space, and it's through some clever design, it changes throughout the show, and you get to see what Dorian sees in this portrait of himself.
Yeah.
And you see it slowly changing throughout the show, but at one point it is a picture of his mother.
You'll never grow old to me. You'll always stay young, unburdened by shadows of what's yet to come. Can you hear me in your wide silent sea? Can you see me? If you could, would you speak? I never knew your voice. You never heard my cries. You never had the choice to walk by my side. Did you love me just for a moment? Was it hard to let go before you got to know me? Can you hear me, or should I spare my words? Is it time to turn away, find my own world? Can you hear me, or am I on my own? Can you hear me, or is it time to let go?
So Dorian it's been around for a little while. It's had a few versions. I think they did it a couple of years ago at the Spiegel tent on South
yeah.
Bank when that was
right.
there.
Yeah.
This was the first, like they've rewritten the book a lot and put some new songs in for this version of the
Yeah.
show. And I think that is the most heartbreaking part of this, is that so much work had gone into it, and we were
Yeah.
so close to opening. Like we were literally 2 days
Yeah.
away from opening the show, and then we had to stop because theatres got closed down.
So I tell you, I mean, I see what's interesting about this, and I think you got a lot to say on this, is a lot of my friends have are MDs or musicians and dancers and singers, etc. And it's really been tough, this whole, the Corona thing. I mean, the year has basically been wiped out. That's let's just take, now everyone's kind of accepted the fact that basically it looks like the year's work has gone. There may be piecemeal bits and bobs, you know, in autumn if we're lucky, but that's it. So the big question is, what about, you know, 21? Because if 21 goes down the old toilet, then that's when I think there's a serious existential crisis for a lot of people in this business. And I wondered how are you dealing with it, and what's...
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot to be dealing with, and I know that there are so many people in similar positions. Like, I know that whatever problems I'm experiencing, there's 100 other people having that same problem. Like, when theatre got shut down, I lost so much work in the space of 24 hours. It wasn't funny. Like, I literally didn't know how to react. I had a residency at Crazy Cox that every single concert that I had coming up for the rest of the year was cancelled.
Wow.
And then I was supposed to be going on a UK tour with HMS Pinafore, which got pulled, and Dorian. Like, there were so many jobs that in the space of a day.
And of course, these have taken years to get to a certain point.
Exactly, exactly. And that momentum, to suddenly lose that momentum, you sort of just start drifting for a little bit before you pull yourself back in. You reground yourself and go, okay, what's next? And that's sort of...
I mean, as a MD as well, I mean, you're used to the kind of, you know, the daily, you know, the night bashing, the sort of the delicate manipulating or massaging of egos, and the
absolutely. And it's interesting. Like, the first sort of week or so that after it finished, I took a bit of a break, and it was really good for my mental health, and to just take that pause and go, it's okay, I'm not letting anyone down, because there's no one to let down at the moment. But then trying to get back on the bike and realizing that in the time that I'd taken that break, I hadn't been doing the things that I had been doing so regularly, and I'd sort of lost that for a little bit. It's back now, but just finding that discipline again that you get from a routine of doing a show.
As I walked into the limelight, through the smoke and sleight of hand, there you were, looking right through me. In your eyes, I could see you'd understand. Now I know my Romeo, unmasked is just a cold facade, so unreal, like the words I see.
So as an arranger, which is a very self-isolating thing to do, I'm very fascinated by people's approach to discipline. How do you do it? What's your process?
Yeah, I mean, with the rise of digital audio workspaces and sampled instruments and stuff like that, like from my bedroom, I can make a full sounding orchestra.
Wow.
on
Is
my
that
Mac.
using Logic or it's
Yeah.
not a Sibelius thing? I mean, I do Sibelius.
Yeah, I mean, I use Sibelius when I'm arranging, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I use Logic for
Yeah.
mixing stuff, and it does make it a lot easier to talk to composers, and even if I'm having to send a demo to a director that might not necessarily have the same musical vocabulary,
Yeah, yeah.
to be able to just send them what I'm hearing in my head and go, this is what I'm hearing, rather than having to say, oh, it'll be 4 on the floor in the
Yeah.
kit, and the bass will be doing this really funky lick.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting. I suppose this actually is a difference between. So, as a writer, you don't really want to send the absolute finished sort of arranged version to a producer, I find. But it's got to be good enough that they get an idea of like, oh wow, this could be. Oh, imagine that with an orchestra or whatever. But you've actually got to take it that further level, haven't you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
because if I've been sent the Tin Pan Alley version the
Yeah.
composer's got, it's then my job to make it sound bigger than that.
Yeah.
And
And do you ever get any pushback from the composers? Who
oh,
say,
absolutely, absolutely, all the time. Yeah,
oh, we're a very misunderstood breed. You must.
sure. So are arrangers. Yeah, like sometimes a composer will have a very solid idea of what they wanted when they wrote that song, and that
Yeah.
will stay with that song forever,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they will not budge an inch on
Oh,
that.
really? And what if they're wrong?
There's not much I can do.
I suppose
There's only so far.
That's when you
Like,
get the director in, where you get all the producer says,
Yeah,
"Shut up."
absolutely. But like,
Don't-
I'm I'm never going to say that I'm the be all and end all of what music should be,
Yeah.
which is why I would send a demo to them and say, "What do you think of this?" Like, I'll take the
yeah,
feedback.
At night, within her picture frame, in gold brocade and a hood of shame, my mother whispers through the gauze to give me words to explain, but I never could quite understand when roses were so close to hand. She grabbed a thorn and let her lifeblood run away, just like she ran to a soldier of the common sword, but beautiful, which means much more, but no honeymoon for all too soon. My father's dead in a duel at dawn. Love and death, they share the same bed, with scandal watching at the bedstead. On her deathbed, as she bled, the same blood rushed into my veins. A son of love and death, the legacy that's mine. A blessing, but with a knife in hand, it's a cut that's so unkind. The angel and the devil sing the same forbidden tune, a lullaby to a boy alone in a cold, decaying room. That boy, a child born in pain, while his mother snatched away, but the flesh, it still remains inside of me, the son of love and death. Solitude and sadness carve such beauty around the eyes, and those parted lips that kiss and tell. An angel at the gates of hell, a boy, a child, a toy, a hybrid, one of a kind, so hard to find, preserved to such perfection, highly strung, well hung, and highly primed, the son of love and death, but beautiful, which means much more, the son of love and death. My fingers itch, I can't wait much more. Love and death, they share the same bed. The perpetrators quickly fled, leaving me with blood-stained hands, the guilt injected in my veins. A son of love and death, the legacy that's mine. A blessing, but with a knife in hand, it's a cut that's so unkind. The angel and the devil sing the same forbidden tune, a lullaby to a boy alone in a cold, decaying room. That boy, a child while his mother snatched away. But the flesh, it still remains inside of me. The son of love and death, the son of love and death, the son of love and death.
Justin and I were both working on a lot of projects that got pulled very quickly. And yeah, it was a shock at first. And then we were talking to each other and we were just like, why don't we just use the time and energy that we had invested into those projects and keep other projects going? And we wanted to put on something that let new British musical theatre writers still have that chance to have their show shown off to the world. And between us, we have so many contacts of people whose shows were cancelled, like the composers, the writers, the performers, the creatives. And we just started talking to all of them and getting their stories and realized that we could actually put this on, like following very careful social distancing guidelines and hand cleaning stations everywhere and sanitizing everything that we touch and following it fastidiously. And the possibility of doing that really excited both of us. And so we did it. And we've now got this fantastic project that we're both very excited by. I think one of the best things to come from this break in the industry is that there is so much hope still out there. Like, so many people are still hopeful that everything's going to continue on, either whether that's in a completely new way with different audiences or the same as it was before. There's just this constant, this flame that people just can't extinguish, even though the government's constantly saying, no, you can't be open.
Yeah.
There's just this drive that the industry has. And it's great that we can be part of that and sort of show that off to the world.
Well, it's been great chatting to you, and thank you for asking me.
Thanks for coming.
I feel like I've got a new career as I'm not quite sure what I'm doing now. Is this an interview or a rambler? I'm a good rambler, I've decided.
Inter-rambler.
An inter-rambler, yeah.
Go.
So thank you for, I never knew I could inter-ramble so mediocrely. Does that even exist?
We're just making up new words. Who needs English?
Good luck with Dorian. Good luck with all your arranging. And, that's 21, I guess. See you in 21.
Yeah. Thank you.